What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be covering 12 LTMs, or limited time game modes if you don't know what that means, that I think would be really amazing to see in BedWars. We've had a lot of great game modes, get added to the game, and some not so great. In this list, some of these LTMs are going to be unique concepts, while others not so unique and are kind of common sense to see in the game, so we might just see them anyways. Now, I'm not going to waste a bunch of your time. Let's go straight into these game modes, but before we do, if you could do me a solid and hit that like button and smash the subscribe button, or else you're going to be haunted by this guy the rest of the year. Starting with number 12 is a nighttime LTM. Now, night modes aren't a fresh or new idea because games like Call of Duty already have them in their gameplay just to switch things up. And as you know, the devs on BedWars really love switching things up on us regularly. In night mode, the game is dark, just like my blackout video. If you didn't see that, definitely check it out, where I spam Toxic Rain to give the game darkness. So I don't know if you know this, but if you actually spam Toxic Rain, especially in a customs, it will make the game pretty dark like this. The only difference in this game mode is literally the nighttime, and players can possibly buy flares or torches or something to light up their base temporarily. Again, just to switch things up, pretty easy. I don't think it would be a hard thing for the devs to add. Next up with number 11 is Hunger Games. Now, Hunger Games is a lot like Skywars, but it's different, okay? So the difference being is that you're solo, and currently, Skywars, you can do duos. And the other thing is it's not about being in the sky. So Skywars is all about bridging and getting around. You're falling all over the place, and I don't know about you, I hate falling into that void. So in this mode, you are actually spawning in a flat area, and the idea here is you need to run to various chests in the middle of the map and get some items that loot, just like in Skywars, but the difference being, like I said, you're not going from the sky. You're not going to fall into the void. Additionally, the world has its own set of disasters to keep players moving around the map, so certain areas are going to have, things going off, so it just kind of gets players moving and confronting each other. So again, this mode is very fast-paced, but it's also a ton of fun for those who like the last man standing style gameplay. Next with number 10 is a TDM, or Team Deathmatch game mode, and this is a mode I've really been wanting for a long time now. It's a lot like Skywars, except a very key difference being you can respawn back at your base. So, the Skywars, you die, you make one mistake, and it's game over, which is why a lot of players don't like that game mode. Now, in this game mode, you can respawn, so you're still enjoying yourself, right? Just like any other squad mode, it's like having your bed all the time, so there's no way players can take out your bed. Now, spawn killing is definitely a concern, which can be handled with a decent force field timer, so players, can't just spawn kill you because you're going to probably kill them before they can. And on top of that, you can just make it so they can't get a kill credit if they keep killing you. Now, this is already handled in the game for certain kits, so like if you're, spawn killing with a Barbarian or Airy, you're not going to get those kill credits. This could be a really fun game mode, especially if the map is decently sized. So if it's too small, then it won't be very good, because you're too close to everyone's spawn. But if the map is decently sized, like some of the Skywars maps, it could be a lot of fun. Now, the downside is that kits like Barbarian and Airy will dominate, so you really need to have no kits, just like Skywars. With number 9, there's no surprise that I'm going to ask again for CTF. We need capture the flag. So if you don't know what capture the flag is, it's basically the idea here is you have a flag on your base and you need to protect it. And what you need to do is you need to go to the enemy base, break through the defenses if they have any kind of defenses, walls, whatever. You need to steal their enemy flag and then return it to your base. So it's pretty easy. It's super popular. It's been done a million times in PvP games. It's a no-brainer. Now, if you didn't see my fake BedWars CTF game video and the game itself, definitely check it out. It was a ton of fun to make. Coming up with number 8 is Domination, and it's a really popular game mode, and it has many names. Some of you may know it by Capture and Hold. Now, the game mode is a lot like playing the game Battlefield. Now, I know some of you never get out of Roblox, and Battlefield essentially really made this game mode popular. Some other games already had that, but the Battlefield really made it popular. Now, there are a lot of games like Battlefield on Roblox already. You might have played them, but I'm going to explain the game mode itself. Essentially, you have different locations, like, say, flags, okay? Say there's 3 flags around the map. A little different from Capture the Flag, okay? Because you can't take it. You can't, grab it and run it back to your base, okay? And usually these flags are, have some kind of ring around them, and what you need to do is stand in there for a certain amount of time and take over that location and convert it to your team's color. The more locations that your team owns, the more points you get, okay? So the idea here is you want to capture as many as you can to accumulate more points than the enemy team, and once you capture the points that are required to win, your team wins. Again, Domination is a really, really popular game mode. It really causes players to concentrate battles in different locations instead of worrying about their bed. Another fun game mode with number 7 is bows only. So this is the bow spammer's dream come true. In this mode, players come pre-equipped with bows, so you don't have to buy them, and they come with unlimited arrows. Now the idea here is bases are completely separated, so you're not going to be like running up to people and spamming them with the bow in their face, okay? So the idea here is you're maybe across the map, knocking each other off, maybe logs or something. So it's kind of just, it's all about knocking people as well as killing them, but most of the time it should be about knocking them, or, you know, maybe have some enchants, maybe it's fire arrows or something. But another flavor of this game could be just doing regular squads, but you can't use swords, kits, or any other weapon that causes damage other than bows. Now, this is super fun and an obvious game mode. We've actually done this a few times in customs, and I will tell you, it's a ton of fun. You can also make this insta-gib or railgun style game mode, meaning you hit players with your arrow, then it kills them instantly. Again, it could be super fun. It would be totally different gameplay than we've seen before on BedWars. Speaking of railguns, with number 6 comes an idea I've had a long time, and I even did a fun video on it, and that's Gun Game. Now, Gun Game is a mode that many Arsenal players will be familiar with. I mean, it's not new. It's been around even in like Call of Duty. And in Gun Game, all players start out with a basic weapon, right? And as you get kills, your weapons progress. So you get a kill, say, with like a wooden sword. It's almost like Barbarian, but a little different. It's basically you get a better weapon every single kill you get. And you know, with a Barbarian, you're building rage, but it's kind of similar to Barbarian. Barbarian, it gives you a little flavor of it already, and essentially as you get more kills you get more weapons, and if you reach the final weapon and get a kill with it, then you win the match. Now they could do this with squads or make it solos. Again, super fun game mode. We need it. Next with number 5 is freeze tag. So freeze tag is it's pretty self-explanatory, right? You basically have to tag other players and you freeze them. Now here's the catch: if you do freeze them, their teammates can unfreeze them by thawing them. And typically speaking, you can either use a heat gun, or you can just pretty much tap on them. So freeze tag is also a dedicated game on Roblox. If you haven't checked that game out, it's actually a lot of fun. So imagine being able to do this in BedWars. I think this one's an obvious LTM. Number 4 is another game mode I made up a while back in a video, and that's dodgeball. Now there are multiple flavors of rules for dodgeball, but in my version, which is the most important version, 2 players are placed outside of an arena and everyone else in the game are placed inside of it. So it's kind of like infected, but not, okay? So the idea here is the 2 players on the outside need to throw a ball at players on the inside, and if you get hit, if you're a player on the inside and you get hit, you are now one of the throwers. And the idea here is to eliminate as many players as you can until the last player is standing. That player wins the game. So it's just a really fast-paced game mode. Not really RNG, but it is a little bit jumping, skill-based. So knowing how to position yourself away from players, it's hard, okay? The other flavor of this would be having 2 teams and you're eliminating each other as 2 teams. That one's not as cool in my opinion, but it can be done. That's like competitive dodgeball. Now with number 3, we have a game mode that is probably too obvious, but maybe it isn't. And that's a Counter-Strike style game mode in BedWars. Just imagine this. Think about this, especially if you know what I'm talking about. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Counter-Strike's basically a game mode where you have a team of terrorists and the opposite team is made up of counter-terrorists, right? So the terrorists need to place TNT, or in their case, like C4 in some of these other games, and they have to bomb the map before the counter-terrorists can eliminate them. In some cases, you know, the counter-terrorists have to like defuse the bomb if it gets planted, all that kind of stuff, but it could be much more simple than that. Now, after each round, whether you win or lose, you get a little bit more resources or money in this case of Counter-Strike or counter blocks, and you get to buy better gear each round, right? So you're getting better and better gear each round, so everyone's kind of evenly split for a bit, and then the players that keep winning are getting better gear because they're getting more resources. So it's a really, really fun game. I love this game mode. I wish most games made it a standard in them, but the challenge is just the defusing, the bombs, and all that kind of stuff. So I think BedWars can actually make an LTM without some of that functionality and just make it so it's like a round-based, you know, TDM style game where you get more resources the more you know, points or kills you get or something. Could be pretty cool. Think of it as like a bounty hunter style game mode maybe. Coming up with number 2 is a red light, green light game mode in BedWars where players need to stop moving when the red light comes on. Otherwise, they get killed. Imagine you're going around, you're about to break the bed, and that red light pops up and you can't move. And you know that the enemies know you're at their base now. And if you move or try to break the bed, you're going to get killed by the bot. So this is kind of a Squid Games inspired game mode where BedWars is played with the twist. What's crazy, you know, like I said, is this game mode requires you to really multitask because you really need to pay attention for that red light, or you could also get trolled. Maybe someone, you know, decides, you know what, I'm just gonna throw this fireball and take a hit for the team, make this other player get knocked and killed by the red light or bot. Could be really, really funny game mode and just completely twisted. Finally, with number 1 is a turret castle defense game. And in turret castle defense, it's a match of 12 defenders versus 4 attackers, where defenders need to man different, turrets around the base, or at least the castle, and the attackers need to break in and destroy multiple beds. The castle itself, it has the turrets already stationed, okay? So, you're not placing them yourself. They're already stationed in strategic positions, and the players manning the turrets cannot be killed or attacked. So they're in a safe place. They cannot be killed or attacked. They can only use the turrets, by the way. They can't go and buy stuff. They can't add stuff. They're basically only using turrets. Could be a really fun game mode. Might be difficult for the devs to pull off, but that's a challenge for you, dev team, not me. So what limited time game modes would you want to see in Roblox BedWars? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next vid. Peace.